NASA engineer claims demon attacked him. The Bill Vaile story. Welcome back to Mysteries, Crime Stories, the channel where we dive into the darkest mysteries, the most disturbing crimes, and the strangest encounters the world has ever known. If you love unraveling these chilling stories with us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Because tonight, we're entering one of the strangest cases ever linked to NASA. It's the story of Bill Vaile, an aerospace engineer whose life was built on science, logic, and reason. But behind closed doors, Vaile claimed he was tormented, not by equations, not by engineering problems, not by earthly dangers, but by something far more terrifying. A demon, that's right, a NASA engineer, a man of science, publicly claimed he was attacked by a demonic entity. Why would someone with a stable career and reputation make such a bizarre and reputation-destroying statement? Was it a breakdown of the human mind, or a glimpse into something the scientific community refuses to acknowledge? This is the shocking story of Bill Vaile, the man of science. To understand why Bill's claims shook people, we need to understand who he was. Vaile wasn't some fringe conspiracy theorist. He was a respected aerospace engineer who worked within NASA's orbit, the kind of person you'd expect to laugh at ghost stories, not write them down as fact. For most of his career, he lived in the world of data, physics, and cutting-edge technology. These were the minds tasked with putting humans into space, designing rockets that pierce the sky, and protecting America's dominance in the space race. Within this world, the supernatural had no place. But then, Bill started to change. The first attack. According to his own accounts, it began suddenly. Bill described one night where he woke up in his bedroom, paralyzed. The air was thick, like electricity before a thunderstorm. At first, he thought it was sleep paralysis, a condition where the brain wakes up before the body, leaving a person trapped between dream and reality. Many people who experience this report seeing dark shadows, feeling pressure on their chest, or sensing a presence in the room. But for Bill, it went further. He claimed he saw a shadowy figure standing in the corner of his room. Not just a silhouette, but a form with detail. Long arms, a face that seemed to shift and twist, and eyes, burning, glowing, hateful. Then came the physical sensation. Bill said the figure pressed down on him, choking the breath from his lungs. His body screamed for oxygen, but he couldn't move, couldn't fight. He swore he felt claws pressing into his skin, heat against his chest, and a wave of energy that filled him with terror. And then, just as quickly, it was gone. Bill sat up in bed, gasping, sweating, and shaken. Now, most people would dismiss this as a nightmare. But Bill was convinced this wasn't sleep paralysis. This wasn't a dream. This was an attack. A pattern of torment. That night was only the beginning. Over the following weeks, Bill reported more encounters. The shadowy figure returned, sometimes looming over his bed, other times following him through the house. He described whispers in the dark, voices that didn't come from inside his own head, words he couldn't understand, but tones he could feel, threatening, mocking, predatory. At work, he was distracted. At home, he was terrified. He began documenting his experiences in writing, convinced that the entity wasn't just haunting him, it was targeting him. And the more he talked about it, the more bizarre things became. Objects would move around the house. Doors slammed without warning. He even reported bruises appearing on his skin after nights of struggle. Marks, he said, were left by the entity's claws. It wasn't just psychological anymore. To Bill, this was physical proof. Why would a NASA engineer say this? Here's where the story takes its strangest turn. Think about it. Bill Vaile wasn't a random person. He had a career, a reputation, and a future in one of the most respected scientific organizations on Earth. By coming forward with claims of demonic attack, he risked it all. So why speak out? Some suggest Bill was experiencing a severe psychological breakdown, perhaps brought on by stress, isolation, or even undiagnosed mental illness. NASA engineers are known to work under extreme pressure. Long hours, intense secrecy, and the weight of missions that cost billions of dollars could crack even the sharpest minds. But others believe Bill's story wasn't just psychological. Paranormal researchers latched onto his claims. They argued that people who dabble in advanced science and technology may unknowingly open doors, not just metaphorical ones, but real ones. Portals, they said, between our world and another. What if Bill encountered something not meant for human contact? What if, in his pursuit of science, he stumbled across forces humanity doesn't yet understand? Sleep paralysis. Or something darker? Skeptics quickly point out that Bill's experiences sound almost identical to sleep paralysis episodes. Around 8% of people experience it at some point in their lives. The symptoms? Waking up, unable to move, feeling pressure on the chest, seeing shadowy figures or hearing voices, a deep sense of dread or fear. It's the brain misfiring during the transition from sleep to wakefulness. But here's the problem. Bill refused to accept that explanation. He said what he experienced was far too vivid, far too consistent, and far too physical to be brushed off as a trick of the brain. And maybe that's what makes his case so compelling. Most people who go through sleep paralysis don't end up publishing detailed accounts or claiming ongoing attacks. But Bill did.